Overthinking is the silent killer of confidence. It makes you rehearse every mistake that hasn't even happened yet. It convinces you that you need more time, more answers, more permission, when the truth is you need more action. Every time you replay the same thought in your head, you get weaker, not stronger. Overthinking doesn't protect you, it paralyzes you. And while you're busy analyzing, someone else is out there winning because they moved while you hesitated. The most dangerous risk isn't failing, it's wasting your life inside your own head. Overthinking is not intelligence, it's not strategy, and it's definitely not preparation. Overthinking is fear putting on a mask and pretending to be logic. It's hesitation dressed up as caution. It's insecurity disguised as planning. And if you don't learn how to call it out for what it really is, it will run your life like a dictator. Think about it. How many times have you known exactly what you should do but you stalled? You told yourself, let me think about it a little more. Let me weigh the options one more time. But deep down, it wasn't wisdom stopping you. It was fear whispering, what if you fail? What if you look stupid? What if you're wrong? That's not strategy. That's paralysis. And the more you feed it, the stronger it gets. Fear loves overthinking because overthinking keeps you safe, or at least that's the lie it tells you. Safe from mistakes, safe from judgment, safe from risk. But the truth is, it's not keeping you safe, it's keeping you stuck. While you're sitting on the sidelines analyzing the angles, life is moving forward. The opportunities you hesitated on, someone else just grabbed them. The chance you doubted, it passed you by. The relationships you replayed in your head instead of confronting, it's already gone cold. Overthinking doesn't protect you, it punishes you. And here's the brutal part. Overthinking doesn't just steal opportunities, it eats away at your confidence. Every time you hesitate, you train your brain not to trust itself. You reinforce the idea that you're not ready, not capable, not enough. That is why women who overthink end up second-guessing even the smallest decisions. What to say in a meeting, whether to send the email, whether to walk away from a toxic relationship. The pattern repeats until self-doubt becomes their identity. That's not a life. That's a prison built by fear. Let's get tactical. The first step is to recognize the disguise. The next time you find yourself looping on a thought, stop and call it out loud. This isn't logic. This is fear. Naming it strips it of its costume. Because once you see it for what it is, you can fight it for what it is. You can't fight a ghost, but you can fight fear. Second, impose a decision deadline. Give yourself a time cap. You don't need 3 weeks to decide what you already know in your gut within 3 minutes. The longer you sit, the louder fear gets. Discipline your mind by saying, I have until 6 p.m. to decide and then it's done. This forces you to act from courage instead of fear. Third, practice making small, fast decisions daily. Overthinking isn't just about the big choices, it's trained in the little ones. If you waste 10 minutes deciding what to wear, you're rehearsing hesitation. If you go back and forth on whether to reply to a message, you're strengthening self-doubt. So flip it. Start training decisiveness with the small things. Pick, move, go. Build speed into your thinking like a muscle. Fourth, reframe failure. Most overthinking happens because you're terrified of being wrong. But failure is not the enemy, indecision is. You can recover from a wrong move. You can't recover from never moving at all. Failing forward teaches you faster than sitting in your head ever will. Ask yourself, what's the worst that happens if I act? What's the cost if I don't? Usually the cost of doing nothing is far higher than the risk of doing something. Finally, adopt the warrior's mindset. Act, then adapt. The strongest people don't wait until they know everything. They move, they learn, they adjust. Overthinking keeps you in theory. Action puts you in reality. And reality is where you build strength, skill, and results. Let me be blunt. Overthinking is fear hijacking your life and dressing up as caution. It's not protecting you, it's stealing from you. And the only way you break its hold is to drag it into the light, call it what it is, and act anyway. So the next time fear tries to wear the mask of overthinking, rip it off. Don't give it the dignity of analysis. Make the call, take the shot, move forward. Because confidence doesn't come from thinking, it comes from doing. And the only way you silence fear in disguise is to prove it wrong with action. Confidence isn't built in theory, it isn't built in daydreams, it's built in moments. The exact second you decide to move, speak, act, or stand tall, that's where confidence is born. And hesitation is the assassin waiting in the shadows. Every pause, every delay, every second you hold back chips away at your authority, your power, and your self-trust. People think hesitation is harmless, that it's just a pause, just a moment of caution. Wrong. Hesitation is a message you send to your own brain. I don't trust myself. I'm not ready. I'm not enough. And your brain believes it. The more you hesitate, the more you rehearse doubt instead of courage, until one day hesitation becomes your default mode. You stop moving until someone else gives you permission, and that is the death of confidence. Think about it. How many times have you known exactly what you should say, in a meeting, in a relationship, in a confrontation, but you paused, replayed it in your head, softened it, and by the time you finally spoke, the power was gone? Or worse, you stayed silent. That silence didn't protect you, it weakened you. Because you trained your nervous system that your instinct can't be trusted. Confidence doesn't come from thinking about what you might do. It comes from proving to yourself that you can act when it counts. Every decisive move you make, no matter how small, rewires your brain to trust you. Every hesitation you allow does the opposite. You're either building self-trust or eroding it. There is no middle ground. Here's the harsh truth. Hesitation is also how you hand your power to others. The second you pause, someone else steps into the gap. Someone else makes the decision. Someone else drives the outcome, and you're left reacting instead of leading. Women who hesitate end up living on the defensive, constantly explaining themselves instead of commanding the room. Let's get tactical. If hesitation kills confidence, then you need drills to cut hesitation out of your system like a surgeon. Drill 1, the 5-second rule. When you feel the impulse to act, give yourself a 5-second countdown and move. Whether it's raising your hand, sending the email, or voicing your idea, count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and act before hesitation hijacks you. You don't give fear a chance to climb in the driver's seat. Drills 2, immediate voice training. When someone asks your opinion, answer within 3 seconds. Don't stall, don't overthink. Even if your answer isn't perfect, speaking with immediacy builds the muscle of authority. People don't follow the most right voice, they follow the strongest one. Drill 3, micro decisions. Practice speed on small choices. What to wear, what to eat, which route to take. The more you practice making quick decisions, the more decisive you'll be in big moments. Hesitation is a habit, so is decisiveness. Train it. Drill 4, exposure to pressure. Put yourself in situations where you must act under pressure. Improv exercises, martial arts, cold showers, fast response training. These teach your brain to make decisions when it wants to freeze. If you only operate where you feel safe, hesitation will own you. Now let's address the excuse, but what if I'm wrong? You will be wrong sometimes. Get over it. Being wrong doesn't destroy confidence, hesitation does. The strongest people in the world aren't the ones who never mess up. They're the ones who move fast, adjust, and keep going. Every wrong move becomes data, experience, and resilience. But hesitation, it gives you nothing. No lesson, no growth, no progress. Just regret. Let me be clear, hesitation is self-sabotage. It whispers, wait until you're more ready, wait until you're more certain, wait until the timing is perfect. That timing will never come. Confidence isn't about waiting until you feel ready. It's about acting before you feel ready and proving to yourself that you can handle it. Every time you hesitate, you tell yourself you are not enough. Every time you act, you declare that you are. Which story do you want to live? So the next time your instinct says move and hesitation tries to creep in, you know what to do. Don't stall. Don't overthink. Don't let the moment evaporate. Act. Decide. Step forward. Because confidence is not born in hesitation, it is born in motion. And every second you delay is another second you let your confidence bleed out. Stop killing your own power, train yourself to act, and watch how fast your confidence grows. Power is not always stolen. Sometimes it's handed over, and the most common way people surrender it is through overthinking. Every time you freeze in indecision, you're silently giving someone else permission to lead, to choose, to dominate the situation while you sit on the sidelines. Overthinking isn't neutral. It's not you taking your time, it's you abandoning control. And in the real world, hesitation is an invitation. If you don't step forward, someone else will. That's why people who overthink often feel invisible, overlooked, or unheard. It's not because they lack talent or intelligence. It's because they gave away their power by not acting when the moment demanded it. Think about the last time you second-guessed yourself. Maybe it was at work when you had an idea, but you sat on it too long. By the time you spoke, someone else had already claimed the floor. Or maybe it was in your personal life, when you knew you needed to set a boundary, but you delayed, replayed, hesitated. That delay told the other person, my needs don't come first. You can decide how this goes. That's power handed away, plain and simple. Here's the truth. Life doesn't wait for you to make up your mind. Opportunities don't stand still. People don't pause while you overanalyze. If you don't take the wheel, someone else will. And once they're in control, don't be surprised when you don't like where you end up. Power comes from ownership, from acting with clarity and conviction. When you overthink, you erode both. You tell yourself a story that you're waiting for the right moment, but what you're really doing is letting other people script the outcome. Overthinking is passive. Power is active. You can't have both. Let's be tactical here. If overthinking hands away power, then you need to train yourself to recognize the exact moment you're about to give it up. Step 1. Identify the power transfer. Catch yourself in the act. The next time you feel the loop starting, should I say something? Should I wait? Should I decide now? Ask yourself, if I don't act, who gets to control this instead of me? That one question exposes the cost of hesitation. Step 2, anchor your authority. When you feel yourself handing away power, physically anchor yourself. Plant your feet, straighten your back, and take one decisive action. Speak, stand, decide. Your body reinforces your authority before your mind has a chance to backtrack. Step 3, cut out the maybe. Indecisive language is the fastest way to leak power. Stop saying maybe, I think, I'm not sure. Speak with clean, sharp lines. This is what I want. This is the plan. This is my boundary. Power is in clarity, not in disclaimers. Step 4, practice controlled outcomes. Instead of overthinking 10 possible scenarios, train yourself to act and adjust. Decide, execute, and then refine. It's better to control a move at 70% certainty than to hand over the outcome at 100% hesitation. You want to know why people respect decisive individuals? Because decisiveness radiates authority. It signals, I am in command here. Overthinking radiates the opposite. It signals, I don't trust myself. Someone else should lead. And people respond accordingly. Let me give you the brutal reality. When you overthink, you're not just hurting yourself, you're giving people permission to disrespect you. If you can't make decisions about your own life, don't be shocked when others make them for you and not in your favor. Confidence and power go hand in hand. The less you decide, the less confident you feel. The less confident you feel, the easier it is for others to dominate. It's a downward spiral. The only way out is to reclaim decision-making as your weapon. So here's your drill. For the next week, every time you feel yourself overthinking, force a 3-second rule. 3 seconds to decide, then move. No more, no less. Train your nervous system that hesitation is not an option, that you don't hand away control of your life for free. Because here's the truth. Overthinking doesn't just waste time. It rewrites your identity. It shifts you from being the driver to being the passenger. from being the one who shapes the world to the one who is shaped by it. And that is not who you were built to be. Stop handing away your power. Stop giving the world permission to decide for you. The next time you feel hesitation creep in, remind yourself, this is my life, my choice, my outcome. Then act. Because the moment you stop overthinking is the moment you stop surrendering and start leading. Overthinking feeds on one thing, inaction. The longer you sit, the stronger it gets. The more you replay the same thought, the louder fear becomes. That's why action is the ultimate antidote. It cuts through hesitation like a blade. Action doesn't just silence overthinking, it destroys it. Here's the reality. Your brain cannot obsess and execute at the same time. The second you step into action, the loop breaks. Why? Because action forces you into reality. It takes you out of what if and throws you into what is. And once you're in motion, fear has less ground to stand on. Overthinking is a disease of stillness. Action is the cure. Think about it. The times you felt stuck weren't because you didn't know what to do. It was because you refused to move. You thought you needed more information, more validation, more certainty. But the second you finally acted, sent the message, made the call, took the step, the noise in your head quieted. The paralysis ended. Because action rewires your nervous system. It tells your brain, I am capable, I am in control, I can handle this. And that's the paradox. Overthinking convinces you action is dangerous, but the truth is the opposite. Inaction is dangerous. Because inaction is where fear festers. The longer you wait, the more your brain inflates the risk. The obstacle doesn't get bigger in reality, it gets bigger in your imagination. The only way to shrink it is to move toward it. Let's get tactical. Step 1, shrink the step. If the move feels overwhelming, break it into the smallest possible action and do it immediately. Want to start working out but keep stalling? Don't plan the perfect program. Put your shoes on and step outside. Want to start a business? Don't spend 6 months researching. Make one call. Take one step. Small actions kill big hesitation. Step 2, apply the 2-minute rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. Don't think, don't delay, just execute. This rewires your brain to associate thought with motion, not with paralysis. Over time, you build an automatic reflex. See it, act on it. Step 3, practice action under uncertainty. Stop waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. The strongest performers act with partial information. They trust they can adapt along the way. The only way to train this is to deliberately move without all the answers. Say yes before you're ready. Step forward while still unsure. Confidence doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from proving you can move through the unknown. Step 4, create action triggers. By action to cues. For example, every time you feel fear in your chest, speak. Every time you hear your mind looping, write one line down and move. Every time you say, I'll do it later, flip it and act now. Make hesitation the trigger for immediate action. Now let's address the lie. But what if I make the wrong move? Wrong moves are not the enemy. Stagnation is. A wrong move gives you data, feedback, and growth. Inaction gives you nothing but regret. And regret lasts longer than failure ever will. Action is how you build confidence. Every move you make is a deposit into the bank of self-trust. The more deposits you make, the more authority you have over your own life. Overthinking, on the other hand, is withdrawal after withdrawal, until one day your confidence account is empty. That's when you feel powerless, because you've robbed yourself with hesitation. Here's the mindset shift. Don't chase perfection, chase momentum. Momentum beats overthinking every single time. A body in motion is harder to stop. And the more you move, the less time fear has to talk. So here's your drill. For the next 30 days, set one non-negotiable daily action, something you commit to regardless of mood, fear, or overthinking. It can be small, one phone call, one journal page, one workout, but it must be done, no excuses. Why? because repetition builds identity. And once action becomes who you are, overthinking doesn't stand a chance. Action is not just a tactic, it's a weapon. Use it, deploy it, train it. Because overthinking dies the moment you refuse to sit still. Let me be blunt. You don't need another plan. You don't need another week to think it through. You don't need perfect clarity. What you need is motion, right now. Not tomorrow, not later, now. Because confidence doesn't come from theory, it comes from proof. And proof is built through action. So stop feeding fear with silence. Starve it with movement. Decide, execute, adjust, repeat. Overthinking cannot survive in the presence of action. Every decisive move you make is a kill shot against hesitation. So if you're tired of being paralyzed, there's only one command that matters: move. Decision-making is not a gift you're born with. It's a skill you train. Just like your muscles, your ability to decide gets stronger the more you work it and weaker the more you neglect it. If you don't train decisiveness, hesitation will own you. And hesitation, as you've learned, kills confidence, hands away power, and feeds fear. So let's be clear. If you want to stop overthinking, you must train your mind like an athlete trains for competition. You don't wait until the game to get strong. You condition every day. You drill. You build discipline. That's what mental strength is, conditioning your mind to decide under pressure, not collapse. Here's the truth most people don't want to face. Indecision is laziness disguised as caution. They tell themselves they need more time or more clarity. No. What they need is mental reps. Because decisiveness isn't about knowing everything, it's about trusting yourself to act, then adapt. And that trust is built like any other skill, through training. Let's break down the drills. Drill, the 60-second decision rule. Give yourself 1 minute to make daily choices: clothes, meals, routes. Don't agonize, decide. This trains your brain to cut the loop before it starts. If you waste time on small decisions, you're conditioning hesitation. But when you make fast calls, you're building a reflex. I move. I decide. I don't stall. Drill, the gut check drill. Your instincts are sharper than you think, but overthinking drowns them out. Train yourself to listen. When faced with a choice, ask, what does my gut say, in the first 5 seconds? Then commit. Don't water it down. With practice, you'll rebuild the muscle of trusting yourself. Drill, decision journaling. Every night, write down one decision you made that day and the result. Over time, you'll see proof. Most decisions don't ruin you. Even when you're wrong, you adapt. This trains your brain to stop fearing the outcome. You start to recognize that progress comes from movement, not perfection. Drills, controlled stress training. Put yourself in situations where you must act under time pressure. Sports, sparring, public speaking, improv. These environments teach your nervous system to respond instead of freeze. The more you train under pressure, the more decisive you become when life throws chaos at you. Drills 5, kill the backtracking. One of the most dangerous habits of overthinkers is revisiting decisions after they've made them. That's not reflection, that's sabotage. Train yourself. Once you decide, it's final. No replays, no what-ifs. You adjust moving forward, not backward. This discipline hardens your confidence. Now let's talk about why this training matters. Decision-making is identity. Every choice you make reinforces the story you believe about yourself. If you decide fast, you believe you're decisive. If you delay, you believe you're uncertain. And the more you believe you're uncertain, the harder it becomes to break free from hesitation. That's how people get stuck in a loop that lasts years, even decades. But the opposite is also true. The more you train decisiveness, the more you reprogram your self-picture. You stop seeing yourself as the woman who hesitates. You start seeing yourself as the woman who acts. And when that identity locks in, confidence follows like gravity. Here's the brutal reality. Life rewards the decisive. Opportunities don't wait. Leaders don't wait. Winners don't wait. The world doesn't crown the one who thought the longest. It crowns the one who moved first, adjusted fastest, and kept going. If you're still trapped in hesitation, you're not in the game. You're watching from the stands. So what's the command? Train. Every day, build the reps. Because when you train your mind to decide, hesitation loses its grip. Fear loses its disguise. Overthinking dies before it can take root. And you gain the most powerful weapon of all, self-trust. Self-trust is the foundation of confidence. It's the voice inside that says, I can handle this, I will act, and no matter what happens, I'll adapt. That voice doesn't appear magically. It's earned through daily discipline, through making decisions, big and small, until decisiveness becomes who you are. So the next time you feel your brain spiraling in circles, remind yourself, I don't need more time. I don't need more permission. I don't need more clarity. I need to decide. Because the woman who decides owns her life. The one who doesn't is owned by fear. Train your mind to decide. Build the reflex, build the muscle, build the identity. Because once decisiveness is trained into you, overthinking doesn't stand a chance. Overthinking is not harmless. It is the silent thief that robs you of time, power, and confidence. Every loop, every hesitation, every second you spend trapped in your head is a second of life you'll never get back. And here's the truth, nobody is coming to rescue you from it. You rescue yourself. With action, with decisiveness, with discipline. You don't defeat overthinking by thinking harder. You defeat it by training your mind to move when fear says freeze. You defeat it by cutting hesitation out of your system and replacing it with decisive, fearless action. You defeat it by refusing to hand away your power to anyone or anything, including your own doubts. The choice is yours. You can stay stuck, replaying the same thoughts, watching life pass you by. Or you can step up, make the call, move forward, and claim your ground. Confidence doesn't come from waiting. It comes from doing. Power doesn't come from thinking. It comes from deciding. So here's the command. Stop feeding the voice of fear. Stop giving hesitation a seat at your table. Decide faster. Act stronger. Trust yourself. Because the most dangerous risk you'll ever take is wasting your life inside your own head. Move, now.